Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Project S3. So today we're going to start to deal with that electrical issue that we heard last week. So that's the fan running up to full speed. So let's not waste any further time. Let's get back and have a look and see what we think the issue may be. Okay, so on the screen now you can see these two codes that relate to the error code that we are getting. Now these two codes I've traced back to a couple of things. So here we have our fan controller. So basically this provides power to the fan, and also these two cables here, they go back to the ECU, which is there, and they tell the fan at what speed it needs to run, and the ECU gets its information from this coolant sensor, which is just down there where I'm pointing now. So that sensor there is what sends it back. Now according to that code, it says that there's a break in the sensor. That's what I read, did some research and came back to. I've checked this cable because the likeliest cause was that the earth on this was bad, but I've checked the earth, which is a brown cable here, and that's fine. So the other cause could be the regulator, which is on the back of this fan here. That may have been damaged when the radiators were crushed and pushed forward. So basically, if it can't receive a call signal, its default setting is to run the fans at full speed, which is what we're seeing. Now I've already checked here to see if there's a voltage going across here, and I can pick up 12 volts or 11.74 because this is beginning to drop down. So we know it's getting a signal, but I need to confirm what these two cables are, where they go back to on the wiring diagram. So if that's the case, then we need to get another fan, a control fan, to test, because there's no test that you can do on that fan other than to replace it. So what we'll do now, because we'll have to order a fan, so in the meantime I'm going to drop the car down, get it outside of the garage. I've got to move that engine first. We'll get it outside the garage and then we'll run it up to temperature, because I want to see if the car, basically if it gets up to temperature and holds the temperature. Plus I want to see if it moves. That's the main thing, because we've attached a gearbox in and we haven't moved the car since, so I want to make sure that the gears work. So let's drop it down and then get it outside. So here is a car running under its own steam out of the garage for the first time. I've got the fan running because I'm just getting the car up to temperature to see if the heat works, etc. But when this car arrived, we had to push it into the garage, and now it's driven out here with no issues. I'm just having a visual inspection and I can see a couple of things that I didn't notice. There's a little dent here which needs to be sorted, but I think that might be able to be repaired by a smart repairer. I don't think that needs to be pushed out. It's not broken the paint, so we'll see if we can do that. But what I might do is give the car a bit of a wash and clean, just to just check the general condition of the bodywork and just see what other issues that we have. But at the moment I'm going to run it up to temperature. I want to see if the coolant goes down, and then we'll take it from there. But obviously I've got to make sure that things warm up, so I'll let it run for about 5 minutes and then we'll come back to it.
Moments later.
Okay, so there's the car now, all washed. I'll tell you what, this car looks fabulous when it's clean, and it really does inspire me to want to get it finished as much as I guess you guys want to see this finish as well. So yeah, bodywork on the car is in very good condition, which is good to see. Obviously the front here, that needs some work. We've got it's just a paint flick, so that'll need to be blown over and touched up, and then just a bit at the back. But other than that, it's absolutely fine. There's no other damage to the paintwork. It's in really good condition and just looks really great. And well, there's this little bit here, and that is it. Everything else is absolutely fine. Right, so with the car clean, let's get it back into the garage and let's continue getting this car sorted and back on the road.
More moments later.
Right, car is back in the garage. Now we need to jack her back up. I was just charging the battery again because battery runs flat because of the damage. Yes, we are going to replace it, but we don't need to replace it yet, so in the meantime we'll just make do until we get to that point. Okay, we're going to jack up the car and then I'm going to give you some updates on what I found with the fan, because the fan obviously is coming on a lot. There was some diagnosis done and we've now come to the end of that diagnosis, and let me show you what my finding is. Oh, by the way, this engine here, I've actually sold it. Put it on eBay and it sold within 5 hours. So I'm very pleased with that, and I also sold my turbo as well. Anyway, back to jacking this up. Okay, so we've done a scan on the car now and we've cleared down a lot of the codes. So the codes that you're seeing here are the codes that are definitely still recorded in the car. So we've gone down from about 13 down to 6, which is great. So we've got airbags, engine, we've got HVAC, which is the AC, central electrics, which is a number of things, headlights and information center. So we're in a good place now in terms of the codes. Okay, so continuing on this, we found that the stuff that was wrong with the coolant system, what was causing the fan to keep speeding, we had two errors. We had a sensor, so it couldn't sense the G83 sensor, which is the temperature sensor by the radiator, and the other one was for the fan. Now, since clearing that code, we've now only just got the one, and you can see it there. So that's coolant fan control circuit. So that's the fan. Let me show you what we're talking about. So if you recall from our previous video, we had the issue with the G83 sensor. That's that sensor down there, which has been replaced. It's brand new. That's now fixed because we've cleared the code and it hasn't come back. But the one that has come back is for the fan motor. Now this fan motor also has a regulator in there as well. In the old A3s it used to be like a block that used to go on the side. Now it's put into the actual fan motor itself. So it's telling us that that's broken, and that's the reason why the fan is coming on full speed all the time, because the fan has gone into failsafe. If it doesn't get a signal from the CPU, or i.e. if the cable is broken, which is what I believe this is the case here, that's within the fan, then it will still run at full speed. Now this is a common problem in these cars, and because this car was hit from the front and had quite a hard whack, this probably damaged that fan. So what I've done, I've ordered a replacement fan that will be here during the week, and we'll be able to check to make sure that's the case. So for now I've disconnected the fan because we're not going to be running the car in anger. We're just going to be doing occasional startups, so we're never going to get the car up to a temperature that it needs the fan. And for those of you who quoted in the comments, yes, I did have the AC off at the time so as not to cause the fan to go on. So the cause has now been identified as the fan motor in VCDS, so we'll replace that, and then that will resolve that. Okay, so we have made some really good progress actually. We've got the car running, we've put it in reverse and forward, we've had it out into the yard, it drives, so we don't have to worry about the gearbox, and that's really great because it means I can get rid of that ugly thing there which is blocking my path. That's my hoist that I borrowed from a friend of mine. So that can go back, and we can now concentrate on putting the bodywork out. So next week we're going to take the fan casing out, and then we're going to replace that blown motor. That'll be probably on the midweek video, but in the meantime we're going to concentrate on getting this bodywork back into place so we can get this car ready for outside. Because to do the dashboard I got to take the car outside really, because I haven't got enough space to take it out here. Well, I suppose I could do, but it'd be better in the light. So that's the next plan. Once we get the wing back on here, we'll get the dashboard, we can get the airbags, and it should be pretty quickly, or it should go pretty quickly after that. Good. Okay, so thank you for viewing this video this week. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will see you on our midweek episode. Take care.